But first, we are going to be looking at some business news stories making the rounds, and we'd like to start from the global economy, where it's reported that Alibaba is rebuffing excessive refund without return requests. Alibaba Group Holdings' main e-commerce unit has rejected an average of over 400,000 refund requests from consumers per day in the past 2 months, according to data from Toba and Tinpao Group, in a pivot to balance the interests of merchants and consumers, where they made key tweaks to its refund policy in early August, allowing some merchants to reject unreasonable refund requests from consumers. And still from the global scene, China is in the news yet again. China is to introduce incremental fiscal policy measures real soon. It is reported that China's Ministry of Finance is supposed to introduce a comprehensive package of targeted new policy measures soon, focused on stabilizing growth, expanding domestic demand, and mitigating risks, which will focus on improving the financial situations of local governments, facilitating the stabilization of a bottomed-out property market, and enhancing the risk resilience and credit allocation capabilities of major banks. Details of these stories and more will come to you on the segment Global Business, which comes right after this. And away from that, we're moving straight to the floors of our featured exchange this morning, starting on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange this morning, where, interestingly, the NGX all shares of yesterday closed on a high, rising by 0.62% to close at 98,215.3 points. It's interesting to know also that a total of 304,970,417 shares, valued at 19,707,798,821 naira 97 kobo, were traded across 8,083 deals with equity capitalization of 59,509,926,752,472 naira 18 kobo. Now we're going to take a look at the biggest gainers and the biggest losers of the day. The biggest gainer, by the way, was WAPIC, which rose by 10%. Other gainers were the likes of TIP, Conhol PLC, Mercury, and NASCO Nigeria. However, on the other hand, Vitafilm topped the losers list with a decline of 9.09%. Other losers were the likes of Tantalizer, International Energy Insurance, NSL Tech, and Guinea Insurance. We're going to a quick break right now, because when we return, we'll be looking at activities from other select exchanges, talking about like the New York, London, Shenzhen, Shanghai exchanges. Well, the Afia Business Morning, and indeed the opening bell. We'll be right back after this timeout. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you are watching Opening Bell. We're moving straight now to flows of our featured exchanges, starting off on the New York Stock Exchange this morning, where interestingly is oil rises in index values across the board. NYC Composite DJ is up 0.20%. NYC US 100 index is up 0.21%. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 0.13%. S&P 500 index up 0.71%, NYSE FANG TM index up 0.75%, Nasdaq Composite up at 0.90%, Nasdaq 100 is also up at 0.78%. Away from that, let's take a look at activities on the London Stock Exchange, where is, well, mostly rises except, of course, for FTSE 250, which is down at 0.02%. However, the FTSE 100, the FTSE 350, the FTSE All-Share Index are all up at 0.29%, 0.22%, and 0.22% respectively. Now moving on, let's take a look at what's happening in China. Stopping off at the exchange at Shenzhen, where, well, is all rises today. Yesterday it was all dips. Today is all rises. Shenzhen Composite Index is up at 2.65%. SZSE Composite Index is up at 3.01%. The Chinese Index is up at 2.60%. And the values are not as high as it was last week. We had values as high as 15-point-something%. But then, let's move over to Shanghai to see what's happening there. And interestingly, it's all rises as well. SSE Composite Index is up at 2.07%. SSE 50 Index is up at 1.60%. Star 50 Index is up 3.01%. SSE 180 Index is up 1.82%. SSE 380 Index up 2.27%. And the CSI 300 Index is also up at 1.91%. We'll go on another break. When we return, we'll be looking at commodity prices as well as our consumer price watch in the Apple market. Do well to follow this program and join in on the conversation. And we are live, by the way, on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you should also subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And by the way, you can be part of our social media community. We're available on Instagram with the handle at Afia Business _. Do well to follow us so you stay abreast on happenings as far as the business community here on Afia TV is concerned. The Afia Business Morning and indeed Opening Bell will be right back after this time out. Stay tuned. name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Akbala.
My name is Ifulaya Ndule, but I'm living in our market speaking.
You're welcome back. I am Ubon Kings. It's still the Afia Business Morning, and you're watching Opening Bell right here on Afia TV. It's time to check in on commodity prices, and we will begin with precious metals. Well, it's a downward movement for gold today, and almost all precious metals on the chart this morning, except of course platinum, which is up at 1.08%. However, gold, silver, and palladium are all down 0.31%, 0.87%, and 2.87%. Platinum is the only one that is up, as you can see on the chart already. Moving on, let's check out energy this morning. Energy is a mixture of rises and dips and index values across board, with more of rises than dips. Yes, indeed. Natural gas is down, coal is down, oil Brent is also down. I beg your pardon. Natural gas is down, oil Brent and oil Bonilite all down 3.76%, 1.51%, and 2.84% respectively. However, ethanol is up at 0.16%, coal is up at 0.63%, Brass River and Kwaiba are both up at 2.00% respectively. And now we're taking a look at industrial metals this morning. Well, industrial metals, they are all rises in index values across the board. We have the likes of aluminum, which is up at 3.21%, lead is up at 1.95%, iron ore is up at 0.59%, copper is up at 0.94%, nickel is up at 2.71%, zinc is up at 3.03%, tin is also up at 1.80%. You are watching the Afia Business Morning. This is the opening bell segment. You may want to do well to follow this program, join in the conversation, and be part of our live session right now on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. And while you're there, remember you should like and do well to subscribe so you have notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can also be a part of our social media community. Follow us on Instagram at Afia Business _. Up next, we will be taking a quick look at the hikes in prices of food commodities in the open market, as well as hikes in fuel prices all over Nigeria. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow on the opening bell when the exchanges reopen for trading. The Afia Business Morning will be right back with the segment, of course, Global Business. My name is Ubon Kings. Stay tuned.
Introducing Obuzo.
Afia TV's early Christmas gift to businesses in Southeast Nigeria. With Obuzo, Afia TV is empowering local entrepreneurs with 1 billion naira advertising grant, helping you reach a global audience on DSTV, GoTV, and Afia Radio. For more information, visit www.afiatv.net/Obuzo or visit the SME Center in your state.
Obuzo, catalyzing economic growth in Southeast Nigeria.
My name is Ubong Kings.
I am Marvelous Apomaga.
I am Chioma Okpala.
My name na Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in a market pikin.
Looking to grow your business? At Afia TV, we've got just what you need. With our various on-screen advertising options like space bags, lower third, sidebars, right in front of your audience. With our lower third, your brand messages appear during the most viewed programs on TV, allowing your audience to see your message without interrupting their TV experience. Now, if you want to go big, our space bag is ideal because it puts your brand messages on spotlight without interrupting viewers' experience. With our sidebars, your brand messages also takes the spotlight on our screen, ensuring brand exposure. These advertising options are affordable, effective, and designed to drive results. Get started today and watch your business shoot up. For more inquiries, call the numbers on your screen.
The Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell, where we see activities from our selected stock exchanges. The global business, where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports, as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubong Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business. And here we'll be taking a look at business news stories around the continent of Africa and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Ubong Kings. And here are the headlines that are making the rounds at the moment. Starting off from the world of tech, where it's reported that Alibaba is rebuffing excessive refund without return requests. And still from the Chinese scene, China to introduce incremental fiscal policy measures. And still in relation with China again, Porsche sees sales crash in China as competition heats up. We'll bring you details of these stories and more right after this break. Stay tuned. You're still watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning, and we begin with stories from the world of tech. Where it's reported that Alibaba Group Holdings' main e-commerce unit has rejected an average of over 400,000, refund requests from consumers per day in the past 2 months. This is according to data from TTG in a pivot to balance the interests of merchants and consumers, where they made key tweaks to its refund policy in early August, allowing some merchants to reject unreasonable refund requests from consumers. Meanwhile, the practice of refund without return has gained popularity thanks to promotions by Pinduoduo, a competing marketplace run by PDD Holdings in China, offering consumers the right to keep both their money and purchase item at the cost of merchants. Quickly, let's look at that story. Now, this is a case of you buy something, something goes wrong, we don't refund you for that thing, right? And clearly, I mean, by the headline alone says it all, that Alibaba is clearly not wanting to refund people without return request. Now, the truth of the matter is, how will I refund you first and foremost without knowing that there's something that went wrong and you need to return something to get a refund for your money? But then, that's a small tip of the whole thing. The main issue is the fact that there was a deliberateness in this whole thing to pretty much, you know, for the company to move away from returning, so to speak, monies to people or refunding people. Because in early August, they actually made tweaks, according to the story, they made tweaks to its refund policy, allowing, this is the key part, allowing some merchants to reject unreasonable refund requests from consumers. Underline that part. Now, what is the criteria to judge what is unreasonable refund? See where this argument is going, because already clearly gives a freeway or headroom, or if you like, an ample playing ground for merchants to decide what is reasonable and what is unreasonable. But then we'll follow up with this story. Of course, Alibaba is not new to the news. They've been there with all the stereotypes and all the negativity, a lot of them in recent times, by the way, and this is no different. We're moving on to other business stories, this time around from the automotive world, where it's reported that German automaker Porsche has experienced dropping sales as competition in China continues to rise, with demand for some of its key electric models failing as consumers still shy away from big purchases amidst the ongoing cost of living crisis. However, Porsche's third quarter sales recently fell to the lowest figure for this period in 10 years, as sales for the electric Taycan model plunged by 47%, mainly because of the falling demand for electric vehicles, EVs, in Europe and the US, as well as issues specific to the Taycan model, which includes manufacturer recalls in both June and October this year due to brake holes and battery module problems. Now, quickly, let's look at something critical. Apart from the fact that the Porsche's flagship, if you like, lack of better expression, electric vehicle, that's the Taycan model. Apart from the fact that its sales plunged by 47%, I'm interested to know that it also had other key issues which deals with, number one, brake hose issues and battery module problems. Now, one part I want to emphasize is the fact that there was a plunge by 47% of the sales of that particular vehicle in Europe and the US. And this is a general thing for almost all electric vehicle models, whether from whatever brand it is. It's the same thing. Why? Because it's applying to many quarters that the fact that there is an embargo on electric vehicles imported from China, it just naturally affects the whole electric vehicle space, because a lot of persons would prefer buying electric vehicles made in China. Why? It's a lot cheaper. Let's face it, it's a lot cheaper. But then, the war is still ongoing. I'm talking about the trade war between the European Union and some other countries. There, Canada is one of them, against China. We'll see how all that plays out eventually. You're still watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning on Afia TV. If you want to kindly join the conversation and join us live as well, watching right now live on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel, kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. And while you're there, remember you should like, also you should subscribe so you can get notifications on all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. Also, you can follow us on our socials, join our social media community, follow us on Instagram at Afia Business _ just so you stay abreast of things happening. Up next will be more business news stories from the automotive world again, and the rest of the world right after this time out. Please stay. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Okpala.
My name na Ifulaya Ndule, but I'm living in a market pikin.
You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning Radio on Afia TV. You're still watching Global Business. Now to the rest of our stories. And well, let's bring you the report that the UK economy has returned to growth in August after 2 months of stagnation, as the figures released by the Office of National Statistics (ONS) show that gross domestic product (GDP) recorded a 0.2% growth in August, an increase and no growth in June and July. However, the latest figures come as the government prepares for budget at the end of October, where the Prime Minister Keir Starmer has already warned that some decisions will be painful, with the government admitting some taxes will rise. Meanwhile, a bounce back in construction and strong month for accountancy, manufacturers and retail businesses helped boost the economy by 0.2% after it failed to grow in the previous 2 months. Now, it sounds all great, and if you relate that to Nigeria's economy, well, not so great, because just recently I just read something on the news as of today, actually, this morning, about the World Bank advising Nigerians, or telling Nigerians that the federal government specifically, that the oil money should be used for Nigeria's welfare. And then the B part, they also said, was the fact that, well, Nigeria, get used to this reality because these economic reforms are important and we can't escape it. That's number 2. Number 3 was the fact that they also said it would take Nigeria 15 years to get out of the place that we are right now. 15 solid years. Now, the question I ask is, the European, the World Bank usually speaks, you know, as far as indices on ground are concerned, and judging by all of those statistics, they come up with these predictions of a sort, and sometimes they're wrong. I want to believe they're wrong, because I know that it doesn't look like it at the moment. The price of crude petrol is on the high, as it were, and quite recently we just found out that, today I found out actually, that what's it called, NNPCL is selling fuel to Independent Marketers Association of Nigeria, dependent marketers, by the way, for a sum of $995 a litre. That seems like the price is going to crash. And by the way, too, we're also aware that there's going to be a meeting between Dangote and these guys to see how they could reduce the prices, because the truth of the matter is, if there's only one person who gets this fuel and then supplies to everybody else, chances are all of us will still be in the same place we are. But if everybody has access, as in all the independent marketers of these products have access to the Dangote refinery, which seems to be is obviously the only one who is refining petroleum products, and they have access to it, chances are people will sell at different prices, and prices will begin to crash, and hopefully the costs will reduce. Well, I'm just being very optimistic, because if we're going to go by what we're facing right now, I'm sure you understand. Moving on, and in an attempt to end this bulletin, let's bring a report that China's Ministry of Finance is poised to introduce a comprehensive package of targeted new policy measures soon focused on stabilizing growth, expanding domestic demand and mitigating risks, which will focus on improving the financial situations of local governments, facilitating the stabilization of a bottomed-out property market, and enhancing the risk resilience and credit allocation capabilities of major banks. However, China has vowed to ramp up support for local governments to help them resolve debt risks, including substantially increasing debt quotas and assisting with the mitigation of hidden debt. Now, this really sounds great. I mean, if you look at it, we're talking about the economy that is the second largest in the world. That's what we're talking about. So when we talk China, pay attention. They say that they have recorded, as a matter of fact, that they are planning to revamp a whole lot of things in their country. And the essence of that, or the backdrop to this whole thing, is to, number one, expand domestic demand, stabilize growth, and of course mitigate risks. And all of these are deliberately planned over a course of time. But how well would we learn from these people? I mean, CCTV video news agency took on the time to tell us or give us excerpts from that particular session. Let's take a look real quickly.
社会保障和就业支出增长4.3%，教育支出增长1.1%，农林水支出增长6.4%，城乡社区支出增长6.1%，住房保障支出增长2.5%。全国一般公共预算收入执行情况低于年初预算设定的目标。我们将多措并举，综合施策，确保全年实现收支平衡。中央财政从地方政府债务结存限额中安排了4000亿元，补充地方政府综合财力，支持地方化解存量政府投资项目债务和消化政府拖欠企业账款。我们鼓励有条件的地方盘活闲置资产，加强国有资本收益管理，努力增加财政收入，强化科技、教育等重点支出的保障，落实好城乡基本基础养老金提标、基本公共卫生服务经费财政补助提标等民生政策，有力支持乡村全面振兴、绿色发展、区域协调发展等重大战略，保障党中央确定的各项政策落实到位。专项债券方面，待发额度加上已发未用的资金，后3个月各地共有2.3万亿元专项债券资金可以安排使用。我们将督促地方切实用好各类债券资金，加快项目实施进度，根据实际需要及时拨付资金，尽快形成实务工作量，发挥对投资的。
Well, follow up with the stories as well as other stories since they unfold and keep you in the loop. And just so you know, you could be updated on all of these things by going to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. And you could watch live, by the way. Kindly tap on the intersearch bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, do it to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And by all means, do it to join our social media community. We're available on Instagram at Afia Business _. Coming up next will be a series of conversation, or better still, a follow-up on a series of conversation that we had on Sunday with reference to the X-Space conversation we had on brands, whether they're snubbing the Southeast with reference to being part of activities and events here in the Southeast. We're going to be looking at that on the Eastern Business Report. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned. name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Okpala.
My name na Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in a market pikin.
Looking to grow your business? At Afia TV, we've got just what you need. With our various on-screen advertising options like speech bags, lower third, sidebars, right in front of your audience. With our lower third, your brand messages appear during the most viewed programs on TV, allowing your audience to see your message without interrupting their TV experience. Now, if you want to go big, our speech bag is ideal because it puts your brand messages on spotlight without interrupting viewers' experience. With our sidebars, your brand messages also takes the spotlight on our screen, ensuring brand exposure. These advertising options are affordable, effective, and designed to drive results. Get started today and watch your business shoot up. For more inquiries, call the numbers on your screen.
The Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. See opening bell where we see activities from our selected stock exchanges. See global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities, making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Report as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
It's great to have you rejoin us. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning. This indeed is the easiest report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities and policies, of course, affecting businesses and the economy of the southeastern region of Nigeria. It comes right after Global Business on the Afia Business Morning. And on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we'll be looking at brands and the Southeast. We're looking at the business angle to this. Now, it may interest you to know that sometime on Sunday, we, right here at Afia TV, had a social media session that focused on the question, are big brands snubbing Southeast events? Well, we will therefore interrogate this further and hopefully draw conclusions on this matter, possibly preferring solutions if we can. These issues and more will form the basis of our conversation this morning. My name is Ubon Kings. Welcome. All right, joining me on this conversation around the case of brands of the Southeast, the business is Dr. Sami Edran Jufo. I hope I pronounced that properly. Chairman, he is basically the chairman of Color Code Group. It's good to have you join us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here for the 17,400th time.
Don't get tired of it.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, great. Before we get into this issue proper, I want us to have an excerpt of some of the session we had recently. Some particular conversations popped out for me, and I want us to take a look at it really quickly. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll come back. We begin this conversation.
Oh, well, Somebody earlier said that guy, the
Chris.
guy, he said something about, I'll call it eye service.
Okay.
You know,
This one pain, he said.
you know, in the last 8 years, I've held it down in the East.
Okay.
You know, I've done everything. I've done comedy shows. I've brought Basket Mouth. I've brought Bovie.
True.
You know, I've done open mic. Open mic was 3 years.
And all of these
last
events
Sunday
had
of the
no
month.
corporate sponsorship.
Yes, was only one, and that was Bovie, because Bovie was involved. So he was brand ambassador for one of the brands. And they still, what they gave us is just like widow's mites.
Okay, like a pocket money.
Yeah, but for us, it's at that point,
It was huge.
that was the first time.
Okay.
So it was a big deal for us, you get.
Yeah.
So we've done art exhibition. In fact, the art exhibition, my dad is an artist, so I love arts. 5 years, no sponsors, for 5 years, you know. Then, you know, we're doing fashion now. But thank God, I think over time, you know, the experience you gather, the interaction you have, and also God will make one person just listen to you. Yeah, one person just listen to you and be like, okay, take this.
100K.
But what I do is, I will not take product from any brand.
Okay.
If you are not giving me money, forget about it.
And
Because I'm
that's
going to spend
superior
money.
from Mohis.
Yes, I'm going to spend money for my hall. My hall is not cheap.
It's
I'll do
not.
publicity.
It's not cheap.
It's not. So, what he said, yes, there's lots of eye service. You know, she wants to do an event. I know she's doing an event, but I'm not supporting the event. The reason not me, I support everybody.
Sure.
You know, people don't support event. They now, when they now see that your event is already a success, they now
want to
start
identify
playing.
with it.
Yes. Now, when they have events, you see them chasing after you.
Right? We're talking about big brands when you're thinking Lagos only. What of brands here that can help these festivals, these events gain visibility? Very recently, something happened to me that almost shook me out of the event space. I have my colleague who does same thing I do in Lagos. She's Igbo, by the way, but she does it outside the East. And she has made up her mind she wouldn't do anything East until eventually, after I've done it for 7 years, she thinks, let me try.
There's a market.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. I did 10,000 buyers last year from our record. I mean, there are people who didn't even scan the code to give us their contact. So even from the ones that scanned, we got 10,000. Can you imagine those that didn't scan? I said, okay, your books are looking good. Let me come and try. And then she steps into this sitting. And in her first touchdown, a government body picks her by the hand, takes her straight to the governor, and says, she's coming here to do something. Please, can we support her? This same government body for 7 years had sent letters to them. No, this person in charge of this government body has my number personally. So it's not like he hears it on the air. I give him letters. We sit down, we meet ourselves in other events. We talk about it. He says, oh, I want to come, and all that. And for 7 years, not for once has this person ever said, how can we come in? I mean, Vera, it's okay to say maybe I package my proposal and be speaking plenty gram. I've literally said, guy, tell something.
You're so Igbo.
Literally. And this person looked me in the eye and said, we don't have anything in the budget. Well, even if you say you don't have financial capacity, you have human capital, like taking somebody to the governor.
Yeah. It's a lot.
And so this, my friend, steps out from that meeting and calls me and says,
wow.
She said, Neme, the moment you step out from this Enugu, go and do this your master's in UK now and come back.
Yeah.
Or say that a brand is inviting you in Lagos to do 6 months of something, packaging kini for them and return. You see how people here will start carrying you like a king because she herself is Igbo. It's just that her product has never sold in Igbo land, so she keeps selling in Lagos. The moment she starts to step into Enugu for the first time in her business life, someone carries her by the hands and gives her, oh my God.
Now you've just you've gotten a feel and pulse of where this conversation is pretty much going already. As they have with me, Dr. Sam here, and we're going to be looking at this. Now, your thoughts first before I come into anything else. I mean, quite a number of things have been said from that particular clip we've seen. Quite a lot of issues have been raised, bordering on the fact that, number one, sometimes our problem is us. That was emphasized. The other part is the fact that most of these brands are not even looking this way for obvious, whatever reason. But let's talk about what are your thoughts generally on that first before we come to Whatever can event organizers gain in the process?
First and foremost, like we said while it was being played, I want to commend Afia, Chief Emekamba, Vera, yourself, every team member that had that Twitter space. It was timely. And like I said, it should be a continuous conversation. For far too long, there's something he said that the Lagos audience tells the story of Nigeria, not just the East. So the perceptions of Nigeria is developed, manufactured, cooked in Lagos, all about Lagos. But nobody is telling our story. So enter Afia. Afia starts to tell the story. And we are on DSTV, so it goes farther. There's nothing that was said in that session, which I was part of for a while, that was a lie. When we talked about, I know who she was referencing. You know, you guys gathered a group of people who have been in events. I've been in events in Enugu since 2014. Dr. Kachiogwa and I co-founded an event called, he mostly did the founding, I supported him, TWS. It was a wedding showcase. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, Ubong, we did not have one sponsor. I wrote proposals. Plus his connections, we wrote proposals. I'm professional in proposal writing. There was no angle we did not cover. We went to Lagos, did presentations, everything, and then you know that in Lagos there are also cabals, I use that word, before you break into the first level, second level, for a brand to support you. And then when you look at the environment, you ask yourself, like something she said, why are we looking at the brands in Lagos? What happens to the brands in the East? What happens to the brands in the South? Why are we always dependent on Lagos, a place that have created a kingdom for themselves, and that kingdom is working and thriving? You can't expect that. I was thinking to myself recently, I said, what is it that we ask from Lagos? Oh, okay, come and support us. We consume most of your product. Where's the data? How do you know? Then we talk about insecurity. Who caused it? Is it the Lagosians? When we were having all the agitations, didn't we know the ripple effect of what it's going to do for us by putting a sit at home? All these things come together to give further excuse to people who didn't even actually want to do anything.
In the first instance.
In the first instance. So you gave them a plausible excuse. In Lagos, that we're talking about, the state governor, from Fasho last time to Sanwo-Olu to Ambo this time to Sanwo-Olu's time, have created a revolving fund in billions for the creative industry.
Yeah, true that.
Which of the 5 southeastern states has created a fund for entertainment when Nollywood started in the East? Why do we have movie producers today from the southwest part of Nigeria owning ranches and film locations, and we here, we don't have any? You don't need to blame anybody but ourselves. When we talk about the event industry, it is a thriving industry. Without events, nothing will go on. Social life will go down. So when people are developing events in whichever part of Nigeria, what the brands normally should look out for is return on investment, exposure. If they get this exposure and they put in investment and say, look, we want this product to move, what brands do, either they do activations, they go and do small events, try to get small demography with the data they have. But Ubong, the problem we have here is we don't have the data. We don't have, I commend her for saying she had 10,000 buyings. That is data. How many other event people have that data? That you can go to somebody and say, we have this amount of people. But I assure you, you can take that data and go to Lagos and have at least a response. If you take that data to the average industrialist here, he doesn't take you serious. You don't blame anything on Lagos. I have events of mine. I've written proposals, and they'll say, send an email, you send an email. And I know from insider reports, as soon as I mention Southeast, they lose interest. But their products are here. You also look at their representatives here. I'm saying it at the risk of anything. Look at their representatives here. What are they representing to their headquarters about the Southeast? How many things, how many events have grown from the Southeast and become national events? 0. Because number one, we didn't have a coordinated media approach. Number two, we didn't have a strategic approach. Number three, we are not a coordinated industry. If you look at Port Harcourt now, the breakout events are Bole Festival, for instance.
Yeah.
Young people running it. There's no person over 50 running that event. Young people. What have they done? They've gathered the demography. And you know what? The statistics have revealed that a greater percentage of Nigeria's population are the young people.
Yes.
How come that you know that my event has gathered a lot of young people? How come we are living in a state that has the highest number of tertiary institutions in the southern part of Nigeria, only compared to maybe Lagos or a few states in Nigeria? How come you don't run after brands, after events, after festivals? Why? There are a lot of factors that are playing. But if the Lagos market that everyone is begging to support us doesn't want to support you, then what is the market within the East doing? Are we doing more politics than economy? I say it to people. I say, why do we have a stock exchange in Lagos? But I thought all the businessmen are from the East. Peter Obi tried the stock exchange in Onitsha. We are traders, not businessmen. We have not transmuted from trading to business. So at the end of the day, we event planners, media people, we are at the whims and caprices of whichever person wants to give you 10 naira, and they'll do as if they're doing you a favor. They need you. But we have not created that data. And number two, we are playing local. How many events have we done that everybody comes together? In Lagos, you will see the same person in this event, same person in it. It's happening. People like Ohis, people like myself. Sure. We do not say, okay, it's not my event. Before I started thinking about my event about April this year, I was in a lot of people's events, just going around, helping, supporting. If you create that community and everybody connects to it, we say, okay, Super Sam, you're a media person, Ubong, you're a media person, we need you guys to come together. My event, I'm bringing everybody together. It's not Super Sam's event. It's Beer and Barbecue, it's homecoming. Afia is doing a homecoming package for events. This is the way that we will help promote, but there are a lot of other steps we need to take. Okay. And those steps, if we keep sitting and complaining, we'll never get it. We need to ask the brands in the East who don't think they are brands. It's not about supporting us. It's not a charity case. It's a business relationship. I think they're looking at it as a charity. You're coming to beg me for money. Oga, your audience, the people you're looking for, I have them. Can we discuss? Exactly. So if you keep looking at us as a charity case, and if we keep talking about Lagos, we are putting ourselves in that charity case situation. Hey, don't you see us in the East? You're marginalizing us. No. What is the business profit they will get? Now, that brings me to the case of returns on investment, right? Is one thing for an event, person to create an event and execute, right? It's another thing for the person to have returns on investment, plus, of course, whoever it is that is sponsoring or putting his money down. Now, how do we strike a balance here? A lot of times, people who have events start from the point of passion. If I'm a fashion designer, why don't I just put other fashion designers together? We start from the point of passion. It's after maybe 2 or 3 editions we start thinking the business. So we are more selfless. And when an investor looks at you as being selfless, he doesn't see a place where he's going to put his money and get his investment back. But when we start thinking, the first one, let's do it, and these sponsors see that anything they say, you agree. Anything they say, just bring your brand, just put it there. Like somebody told me, he said, your first edition, just put all the brands, put all the logos on your billboard, put everything. So when somebody sees it, they'll think that your event was big. That's not right. When you move from the point of passion and then you move to the point of what will this person benefit and what will I benefit? Right. So you start looking at the business angle of it. You start thinking, what exposure will this person get? What exposure will I give? And what will be the gain at the end for both of us? If this person sees that I come up with a presentation, which many events, I can speak, I don't know personally, I know for Santa Fe, I know for Ohis, I know for Nazar of Food and Fashion, I know for myself. I know that a lot of them will put out proposals and give you the financials. But let's also not forget that some people have also done less than that to a brand to sponsor them, and the brand has found out that they did not make anything in return. The person who organized that event just thought, oh, these people are going to give me money. He gave them money, used a little bit of that money, and did some kind of event. But the crowd that was needed, the exposure that person needed didn't come through. And you know that these brands are connected, and their brand managers are connected. You say, you just did an event in Enugu. How was it? Because another person wrote proposal, said, leave those people. I came and did this place and this thing. I didn't even see anything. Even if there was something they saw, it did not meet and exceeded. Because the brand managers have to report to their bosses and say, this, we put in 10 million here. Nothing came out. If we start looking at that point and try to redeem our image, there will be a difference. Number two, many of the brands look at the person who is presenting this thing. Say, who is this person? What is his pedigree? Can we trust him? What's the reputation of this person? And if they are not seeing anything matching, they begin to draw back. And they begin to demarket you consciously or unconsciously. So if we are looking at the return on investment, what we are selling is humans. That's what we are selling. We only have humans to negotiate with. I will tell you that 10,000 people come for my event. Can 10,000 people come for my event? Good. What is the purchasing power of the 10,000 people? Will they be able to purchase whatever? What exposure would they? What will be the ripple effect? So the return on investment is not just financial. What does it do from the exposure of my brand? Now, Ubong, let's not also forget that down here in the East, we have this culture of why SMEs don't work. It's because a lot of people feel that SME owners, I don't need to advertise. I don't need to go to Afia. Afia is saying 400,000 for instance. I'm just saying, if they are saying 400,000, which is too cheap for one 60-minute, 60-second video, so what will I give them 400,000? People will come to my place. Let me go and look for one influencer to put on my billboard. I'm doing real estate. Let me go and pay somebody on social media. And when you're doing all that, you don't know that at the bottom end, the audience that watch these channels down east are not seeing these things. So you feel like someone opens up a hotel and he just invites his friends and they come and they do one kind of show around the hotel. They bring one guest and they just open a hotel. They open a club. And then you look at it and the person says, I don't need anybody. I know this person. In fact, when you go and see the person say, do you know Brother Shaggy? I have his number. Do you know this person? I have his number. We do it as a means of pride, but it has killed businesses here. It does not help us. When someone says, why do I need to spend money on advert? I beg. Advert, does it bring money? Go and ask radio stations, media houses why they are not making money. Because the average person here feels, I don't need to put money here. Don't worry, people will come. So how does it help emerging businesses, events? It doesn't. Somebody on Facebook about this event, this Twitter space we did, I will still draw back because it was a very painful statement.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yes, the person said something loosely, that there are too many similar events in Enugu. Enugu is not Lagos. Enugu, that this person does this event, this person, Enugu is... What the person was basically saying is that we have too many events in the East. Baba, the East is 5 states. Lagos is one strip of land that lies between Ogun State and Ondo State and Oyo State. That's just Lagos. And the entire population of the East, you think it's like when foreigners say Africa and they call all of us, Africa is a country. No. We have individual states. We are all different subnationals. If you're looking at, it is a person from the East, from Enugu, that said that statement. Meanwhile, you go to Lagos, and something he said is true. Like I talked about what Lagos, they put a creative fund. Then they have a way to know whether your event is meeting the target. So they'll know, okay, let's help you with this. If Enugu State government had created that fund since Sullivan, imagine where it would be. Imagine the inflow of cash we would have had. But unfortunately, we are the ones who are killing ourselves. It's not the marketing somebody's event. It's the marketing the East to the outside. If you don't tell somebody, we had Eastern Nigeria International Film Festival. We have Coal City Film Festival in the same Enugu. Doesn't mean anything. Abroad, you have the Oscars, you have the Emmys, you have the SAG Awards.
Yes.
In the same Hollywood, California, they don't do anything outside California. The state of California, the whole of America comes to California. The Atlanta, big Atlanta that is becoming a movie here, comes to California. Why are you now saying that we have too many events? In Lekki alone, do you know the stretch of events that happen?
Yeah.
They've even moved their events.
Yes,
they move their events across the ocean, and they go to beach houses and do events every day. Clubs are not closing down. Hotels are not closing down. What of the Southeast when Enugu wants to do an event? What happens when Ofala Festival happens in Onitsha? How many brands from the East support that? Baba, it's Glow that comes to support it. What of the Eastern brands? When Glow supports the Ojidoba Festival or supports Echo Festival, what of the Innocents? What of where are we? So I think there's a lot of questions that needs to be asked.
Answered. Yeah.
And that's a problem.
I wish we had more time, but we don't. Our time is already fast spent. And not to worry, we're going to be having another edition of this Twitter space again this Sunday. Information will come to you as the planning is concluded. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Sam. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. This will be the size of the package on the Eastern Business Report. And of course, I played host to Dr. Sami G4, who is the chairman, Color Code Group. And we took out the time to look at brands and the Southeast, the business angle. And you can join in the conversation, drop off a comment or two on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, remember you should like and subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can also follow us on Instagram. Do well to join us at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. Coming up next is Onye Afia. My name is Ubong Kings. Thank you for your time. Stay tuned.
Hello, what's up, Onye Afia? Welcome to the Onye Afia podcast. My name is Harchelo, and here we talk about trade and the lifestyle of a hustler. Whether you're a hustler for streets or not for office, we're there for you. In fact, today we are taking into the office. We have an interesting person. He's interesting because he makes business